In record time, we've described the framework of this movie. I've already revealed the big mystery of the story, that Bobby was fucking Richie's girlfriend, and that's the reason why the murder happened.
Oh no!
I mean, sure, we can add in some additional detail about how Gino's such a massive badass. He, as a cop, could go tell a mob boss to his face, functionally, go fuck yourself. And the boss is just like, okay, man, hey, alright, fair enough. And then, because this movie is one of those movies written by a person who fancies himself upright and principled, but he's also got to be, like, cool and underground, he's got to go right in a bit about how even the fucking mafia is high-minded and principled, and is just outraged over all this senseless violence that's happening on the streets because of Richie. But don't worry, folks, like, the mafia is still bad. They're still bad guys. It's just that the cops have some bad guys on them, too. Like, the mafia has some good guys on their side, and it's...
You're still a dirtbag criminal.
Hey, Gino, you know how many cops I know that make my guys look like altar boys?
Ain't it the truth? Sad world we live in, huh? 9 years old. I'm looking at Pino and thinking to myself, my God, what a great guy. You prick. I always wanted to be a wise guy.
Open the fucking door. Open the fucking door!
Look at us now under God. Who would have ever thought that I would have become a cop, huh?
Hey, Lucky, you know, every god's a puppeteer. And we're just on the end of the strings.
Yeah, but God has a strange sense of humor, you gotta admit.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
It's all shades of gray here in the real world of Steven Seagal, people. So get ready to cheer on this murderous vigilante cop who has pals in the mob as he proceeds to assault basically anyone that gets in his way and punctuates his public cockwagging with sporadic gunfire.
Vinny, tell them to get up on the fucking table.
Are you totally fucking nuts or what? You could have killed somebody upstairs. But there ain't nobody upstairs.
Case in point with our first real action scene, this mild sauce of a car chase that leads into a blade fight in an Italian butchery. Richie literally drives up and throws money at some rent-a-thugs, but Steven Seagal, the great white shark and apex predator of Brooklyn, instantly arrives on the scene to unleash flabby hell. Thrill as a pair of couches shaped like cars lurch around corner and struggle to make more than 100 wheel horsepower despite their massive engines, reminding you of the how and why Detroit's auto industry turned into a machine that only built worker poverty. But this is just merely mediocre. You can find this in any boring action movie from this era. To get that distinct Steven Seagal flavor, we proceed indoors, to a fight that can be described as Steven Seagal mutilates civilians in the thrall of the mafia. See these guys? They're mostly just workers. Mario! So of course, what does Seagal do when he encounters this spread? You know, just some stuff you'd see in the raid. Some, like, Evil Dead 2 things, you know, no big deal. This won't be the first time I point this out, but this is our hero, folks.
Good job, Ouija! Uh-oh.
My goodness.
And just for good measure, he makes the old guy practically hit a rail off his own revolver. It weren't enough to inflict a medieval injury on a delicatessen worker. He makes Pops go eye to eye with a .38 instead of just stripping the weapon. Want to know why people like John Wick as a person, despite the fact that he's an emotionally cracked assassin that's addicted to violence? Because if he puts a gun to someone's head, he shoots them as fast as they realize they're down bore. He doesn't traumatize them while swinging his dick like a ponytailed hog bloated from cocaine and male enhancement products bought from a night market stall.
Dynamite!
Did you notice the missing element here? The part where it seemed like, at any point, Steven Seagal was in peril. Yeah, get used to that. That's gonna be a recurring thing. Like right here, this fight in the bar run by Richie's little brother.
But just the same, you shouldn't talk so tough, all right?
Hey, my brother was here. You wouldn't talk shit like that.
Yeah, but he's not here. And you know why he's not here?
Why?
Because he's a chicken shit fucking pussy asshole.
You might be asking, what fight? Hang on, let me just fast forward through some more dick swinging, just a little more. Dick swinging. Hang on. There. So this shit's just terrible, a prime example of what it feels like when there's no weight or gravity on the situation in a fight. Gino walked into a situation where he's massively outnumbered and is openly provoking a fight with everyone he encounters. This is stupid, but it's fine, because he's highly confident he can beat everyone in the room in a one-on-one fight, which he does, because they fight him one-on-one, because on this earth, goldfish walk among us on land wearing the skins of human beings. So I don't have to describe what goes on in this encounter in detail, or really any of the film's other fight scenes. The spoiler is, Steven Seagal wins. Flawless victory. So instead, I'll just relate to you folks a story from on the set of this film, of an event that supposedly occurred between Seagal and his stunt team. You see, Out for Justice featured stunt coordination by one Judo Gene LaBelle, an individual known for being a master of the grappling arts, one of the originators of competitive MMA, and a friend and training partner to Bruce Lee. If you look elsewhere in this movie, you can also see another friend of the departed Lee, Dan Inosanto, an Eskrima master and one of the first men to instruct the ways of Jeet Kune Do that wasn't Bruce Lee himself. Now Seagal, who is himself a whole galaxy of on-set attitude and behavior issues, is a man who's known for taking liberties with stuntmen. It seems the only way Seagal can get his fix of hitting people is when he can be assured that they won't hit him back. LaBelle took issue with this, given that Gene LaBelle is by all accounts a great man and doesn't stand for bullshit in his gym or on his set. Seagal, in a moment where his want to self-aggrandize superseded his own sense of self-preservation, boasted to LaBelle that he was the best fighter on set, that his mastery of Aikido had made him immune to being choked out and taught him techniques to escape any hold. He challenged LaBelle to just try and make him submit in a real fight. LaBelle, being a gentleman as well as a scholar, highly suggested that they not do this, but Seagal, a braggart and a fool, demanded it happen. So, they went to the mat, and Gene did what Gene does. He got Seagal's back and sank in a blood choke, just to the degree that someone would do in sparring. The sort of pressure that's unpleasant, but not actually cutting off the blood to the brain. A clear sign to someone smart and respectful of the rules of sparring to tap out. Seagal responded by repeatedly karate chopping LaBelle in the groin, to which in response,
Oh no!
LaBelle applied actual pressure to his hold, forcibly sending Seagal to dreamland and causing him to soil himself big style. This is, again, a story I cannot personally confirm, one that many say is true, and Seagal swears is a sick fabrication. That doesn't matter, because it's also a story that a lot of people have seen play out in a gym before. The hotshot newcomer learns how little they actually know by the old bull. It's why there's credence to it. So I just want you to keep it in mind through fight sequences like this one, and this next one especially. The role of Richie Madonna is portrayed by William Forsythe, an individual who has more than enough acting talent to be working elsewhere. There's a problem with him in this role, however. It's that, even though he's definitely not a small-framed man, he's also in really bad shape. Now, under no circumstances am I going to engage in body shaming. I'm simply going to say, here's what a fat person who can beat some ass looks like, across a few notable examples. This is not the look of a dude who can put his weight behind his fist. This is the look of a dude who doesn't intimidate me as much as concern me, in an empathetic way. This looks like a guy who might actually want to avoid exertion. But don't mind that, this is also our villain, and it'd be fine if he was just supposed to be an out-of-control violence freak using a gun as his turn-person-off remote. But no, this is a Steven Seagal movie, which means at the end, this guy is going to fight this guy. Folks, this is not a fair fight. This is not even close to a fair fight. This is some cruel and unusual punishment. Extrajudicial execution via blunt force trauma, and exactly one corkscrew. Yeah, take that, Pinot Grigio. Try putting that cork back in, fucker. You see what I'm getting at here? This is a human being using the end of a weak combatant's life to grow and flex his own ego. The act of beating a fat man to death slowly to exert superior masculinity and resume total control of his ultra-platinum epsilon male beast mode grind time lifestyle. And again, I say, this is our hero, folks. The guy Jason Voorheesing dudes who are most likely regretting not fucking off over to the shore for the weekend, instead of putting up with this unholy, coked up, and armed hybrid of Chris Farley and Big Show, and his particular brand of esoteric bullshit.
Gonna be needing a new go-kart. Something with some stomp.
You see that, Seagal? This motherfucker's brain isn't working correctly, and you just stabbed it with a corkscrew. How's that supposed to help him? I think the brand of justice that you're out for isn't very reformative. Not very reformative at all. In fact, I may venture to guess that you're some kind of asshole.